This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Brennan Reichers in for Jeff this week. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station Double T 97.3. We come to you from the First United Bank studio, and we take your phone calls today on the Visual Edge IT hotline. That number is 806-771-0973. Yates Flooring Center chat line, it too is open. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that, and you can participate and be the first to participate this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you get a top four ranking. You get ranked number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, just exactly where we thought, and puts you in sweet position, Jamie, as the Red Raiders head into the Big 12 championship game on Saturday.
Just go get that win on Saturday, pick up your first ever Big 12 football championship, and then sit back for a few weeks and get ready for this matchup with who we're not really sure who it's going to be, but get to have the bye and get ready for a real college football playoff game in a big venue and all that good stuff. So a lot of fun. Right
now it would be the winner of Oregon and the Group of 5 champion as the 12 seed, because you're the 4 seed. Oregon is the 5 seed. The top 3 remain the same: Ohio State, Indiana, and Georgia. Then Texas Tech, followed by Oregon. Coming in at number 6 is Ole Miss. They go up a tick. A&M drops from 4 to 7, and then coming in at 8 is
3 to 7.
I'm sorry, 3 to 7. Yeah, and then Oklahoma at 8, Alabama at 9, and Notre Dame at 10. With the other conference champion coming in at 11. I guess that's the ACC, although it could be somebody else other than an ACC team when it's all said and done.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there with the ACC.
Were you surprised the Aggies went down to number 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an indictment of their schedule and who they've played, and the fact that they haven't had that many big wins? And
I mean, obviously a victory over Notre Dame is what they're, which is another playoff team, is what they're hanging their hat on, and that's obviously a good win. But I think the body of work besides that wasn't just incredibly overly impressive, and I also think it factors into when you lose.
Yeah,
that plays a part in it as well.
Yeah, and then how about Ole Miss actually going up to number 6? They won in the Egg Bowl, but they lost their coach. So I'm glad the committee didn't. It looks like the committee didn't penalize them for losing Lane Kiffin.
Well, it would be hard to say that they did when they went forward.
Yeah, right. So, right.
I don't know that they rewarded them, but I think that was more about the Aggies slipping past them more than anything.
Okay. So, but I mean, there was some talk that they could go
backwards. Yeah.
That they could go backwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then LSU, I guess they did Ole Miss a favor by allowing Charlie Weiss Jr., their offensive coordinator, who's now at LSU, to go back to Ole Miss. And so he got back on another plane. He got on a plane and went with Lane, got on a plane and went back to Ole Miss so that he could help them with their offensive game plan. I wonder how that's going to be received by the players.
Yeah, don't know. I guess that could go either way, and maybe some players one way and other players another way. Maybe guys appreciate him coming back and loved playing for him and all that good stuff, and maybe other guys feel like he's a bit of a traitor and they don't want to be around him.
Yeah, and my guess it would be how good his relationships were before.
Yep.
I mean, if he had great relationships with his, let's just say, his quarterback and with the receiving group and the skilled players and the position coaches who are going to have to install the game plan, or the ones that are left over, whether they be analysts who are now going to be moved up or GAs are going to be put in a different spot than what they were before. I mean, one thing's for sure. I mean, it's not like they're going to go over to the temporary workplace there in whatever town Ole Miss is in.
Oxford.
Oxford, thank you. They're not going to go to the temporary workforce and go, hey, we got some positions over here. I know you guys are used to sacking concrete, but how about telling our offensive line which way they're supposed to block and helping scheme up against the defenses that we're going to face here in the college football playoff? Think you guys could help us out? It pays $1,000 an hour. It's better than what you were getting for, putting barricades out on the street or putting up fence or whatever it is that you were going to do today. We got some really nice jobs over here at Ole Miss. Do you think you could help us out? Oh yeah, sure. Sign me up for some of that. Mm-hmm. But usually around a football building, especially one that's a top 10 building like that, there's no shortage of hands that are available to help you with what you need to do. And I'm sure that there's plenty of guys over there that are anxious to show off how they can scheme up the offense and help.
I mean, knowing him like we do, I'm sure Chris Beard has probably offered to help a little bit too.
You would think so, right? You would think that he's probably looking at this going, all right, so what are they going to pay the new guy? What are they going to give him? What can I get out of this deal? I haven't looked to see how
he's probably hating. He's probably hating all of this. Why is nobody talking about me?
Because the attention is and who knows? Maybe Lane got the plane idea from Beard. Maybe Beard walked down the aisle there and said, "Hey, here's what I did. I told my guys, you either come with me or you're staying here." And we loaded everything on that plane that we possibly could. And we were loading that plane for several hours. And we finally got out of there and touched down in Austin, and well, it didn't exactly work out for me.
Yeah,
in Austin.
then it kind of got fuzzy.
It got a little
there.
south because whatever happened, and it got thrown in the clink, and then Ole Miss bailed him out. And maybe the surprising thing is that he's still there, but they paid him handsomely to stay.
I don't know who else wants him.
Well, that's a good question. I think
maybe other schools have morals.
I think there was maybe so. You're allowed to do that, right?
You are absolutely allowed. It just doesn't. People don't choose it all the time.
All right, we are just getting started here this morning on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Good morning.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Coming up at 7, more Red Raider football as we get you ready for the Big 12 Championship game on Saturday, 6:45 this day in sports history. Good morning. It's 6:32 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Today is also the National Signing Day period for high school and junior college players. It is the early signing period, which has now become the main signing period as opposed to the first Wednesday in February. It's a 3-day signing period that begins today and goes through Friday. Texas Tech has commitments from 20 and expects to sign 17 who will be with the team at the start of the year and the start of the spring semester, and that's more and more and more of a trend and expectation to be able to get ahead and be a part of the team. Among those being signed today will be Chase Campbell from Friendship, who's a 4-star, ranked 13th in the state, 94th in the nation, and 12th at his position. He's had surgery on his shoulder, so he's recovering from that. But great addition to this football team, Jamie.
No question. Dude is a talented player. No doubt a freak athlete. So he's going to be a great add for Coach McGuire and the Red Raider offense.
So you've got that, and you've got quarterbacks and linemen and all edge rushers and defensive tackles, and a lot of ones that are ballyhooed and I'm going to assume will be, I don't know about paid handsomely, but they ain't going to be working at your friendly, name of the discount store in the summer to kind of get some pizza and beer money for the fall. They'll be taken care of for the most part. It seems like.
I would guess for the all part.
Yeah, right. They're not grinding on the weekend, pushing shopping carts or anything like that, and probably shouldn't be.
But neither have athletes been for a long time.
Yeah, and I guess the days of watching the grass grow for $100 an hour those days are gone as well too. You don't have to worry about that anymore either, too.
No, I mean, no, there's none of that illegal stuff. It's
just legal now. Yeah,
it's just pay for play.
Yeah, it's just pay for play. It's just legal now. I found it interesting that in addition to Coach Joey McGuire, that BYU, I guess they passed the plate and they found a way to pay Kalani Sitake. He reached out, it seems like, or his people did, to Penn State to kind of force that issue there at BYU.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Yeah, that he wanted to. There had been a lot of talk about him wanting raises for his assistants, so that may have been all part of it. You see coaches do that and feel like, hey, if I get more, that leads to my assistants getting more too. So maybe that was what went on there.
Yeah. The pool. Of course, they're a private school, so they don't really have to disclose anything. And so as a result of that, really don't know what the terms of his deal are and things along those lines. Coach McGuire's going to go from like $4.5 to $6.5 million, and then there's bonuses and extra $100,000 a year and all those kinds of things. And you would assume that part of that you're going to probably hear some, additional money for the quote coaching pool and things along those lines. I mean, they've certainly,
well, whatever it takes to keep Shieldwood, do that.
Yeah. You want him to be in a situation where it's going to be hard for him to leave. Because don't you think his next stop is to be a head coach somewhere?
Quite possibly, if that's what he wants.
Yeah,
that's what he wants. Some coaches want to stay coordinators, but it does feel like he's ready to take that next step up as far as, he's just been so good as a defensive coordinator that you would think he would get the opportunity to lead a whole team and not just a defense.
And he's moved every year for the last 5, so he may be like, God, But
he's never lived in a place like Lubbock, Texas.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he might.
He's never had a morning show to listen to every
listens
day
to this
like
thing?
Ours.
You think he listens to this?
No, I do not think Shieldwood listens.
No, I think he's
Coach McGuire, maybe. Mac Leftwich, maybe. Not Shieldwood.
I think he's smart. He's smart enough to go, I know that's a radio there. I kind of heard that we've got a couple sports stations.
I don't think it's about being smart, Chuck. I
think he's just laser focused.
Smart. I just think it's
laser focused.
Our shtick is probably not what he, enjoys.
It may be. Who knows? It may be, and he may be in a situation where he goes like, you know what, I'm just ready to put down just a not have to move over Christmas again this year. And maybe his wife is like, hey, it'd really be nice if we got to know the neighbors. Or it'd really be nice because I think they've got 2 girls that are school age. The girls, they'd like to have friends, not have to make new ones every year. And maybe Texas Tech can say, hey, we're going to make it really hard for you to go to, a non-Power 4 school like a fill-in-the-blank school that's looking for a coach. And say, here's the deal. And the other thing, too, that's going to take him out of the mix is the longer that you're successful, because teams want to get their coach on board. They want to get him going, right? Mm-hmm. Especially these smaller schools. They're like, where the head coach is the chief cook and bottle washer, Not that he's drying the jocks and socks, but and washing them, but, he's putting everything together, and he's the head of the snake. So it may not be a situation where the timing is exactly right for him.
Well, where do you think he's going? Hardin Simmons?
No, but I mean,
if he took a job at Memphis or, Tulane or something, he's not the chief bottle washer. I mean, he's going to be the head coach, and they have coordinators and analysts.
I know, but I mean, everything's laid out for him.
He's
here.
not going to text line. I mean, he's going to be a Division I college football coach.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that maybe some extra duties that, I didn't know I had to do that. I didn't have to do that at Texas Tech. Well, this ain't Texas Tech, where we have 72 guys to, put paper in the copier machine, stuff like that. Make sure that there's soap in the hand washers for the hand washer people.
We need one of those here.
I did it the last time, and then made sure that there was a bottle of hand lotion for you in there, hand soap in there, just the regular
soap, not lotion.
The hand soap, just to push on the top of the spray bottle so that we didn't have to worry about a battery running out of the soap deal. So we make it with everything. We try to make everything as easy as we can for you here, sir, Mr. Lent.
To what happens when Jamie makes sense, we adjust, because we're like, you know what, that makes sense. Why don't we just listen to Jamie making sense? And we did. It's not to bow down to Jamie. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's make sense.
Jamie does make sense most of the time. This morning here on the Morning Drive, I predict that they'll make it too hard for Shieldwood to leave this year, and he'll be here one more year. All right?
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Brendan Riker, who's in for Jeff this week. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is great to have you with us today. We come to you from the First United Bank studio and look forward to hearing from you today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. We've been talking about the college football playoffs and the rankings and Texas Tech and Joey McGuire getting a new contract and all those kinds of things. So we'll go back to that, Jamie. Texas Tech ranked 4th in the latest college football playoff rankings. The final one will come out on Sunday. It's exciting times. Exciting times.
No question about it.
It's off the chart exciting times, right?
You're living in a world that you've never lived in before.
And so at this point in time, you would have a first round bye. Obviously, you have a big game on Saturday, biggest game of your school's history, right? I mean, without question, you're playing for a Big 12 championship. You've never done this before. Mm-hmm. And then, you win this game, and the next game would be probably in the Cotton Bowl, as it would stand right now. Although you could make a case, right? Like if Indiana got beat by how many points would it take for Indiana to drop out of the top 4, do you think?
Out of the top 4, it'd have to be, I would say, by more than 2 touchdowns at least.
Okay, so I had 21 in my head. I don't know if getting beat by 21 would put them down to 5 or worse, or if it would keep them in the top 4 but move them from 2 to 4.
Yeah, it all depends on, I guess, how that would look. But I could definitely see them losing a couple spots.
Yeah. And then what about Georgia? Are they in jeopardy of going down? I guess they would be, right? At some point in time. But they don't have to worry about the SEC championship game. That's the beautiful thing for them, right?
Isn't it Alabama and Georgia?
Maybe it is Alabama and Georgia. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it's Alabama and Georgia. Sorry. Yeah. So let's just say Alabama beats Georgia. They could move down too.
Yeah, that would be their second loss. I would assume that Georgia would slip out and, Texas Tech step forward and maybe even Oregon slips into to the first round bye. Yeah, and,
because to me, like if Ohio State and Indiana, and if it's let's just say it's a 1-score game, or let's just say it's 10 points and maybe Ohio State gets a trash touchdown at the end or something like that. Maybe it's 12, whatever. I don't know that it's going to hurt Indiana that much.
No, I completely agree. I think if it's a game, halfway through the fourth quarter or whatever, then I think ultimately they may stay right there even with a loss.
But what if Georgia Alabama is Georgia wins on a field goal at the end, or wins on a game-winning touchdown, they sneak it in, and there's just seconds left for Alabama to try to make a comeback. Is that enough for them to go from 3 to 4? And let's just say Texas Tech has a convincing win over BYU, and you go up to number 3.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. If that doesn't look that good and you look dominant just as you did the first time you played BYU, yeah, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily, bet that scenario is going to happen, but it's possible.
The other games on Saturday feature Duke and Virginia. This is for the ACC championship. And this is a game that we'll have on 100.7 The Score. We'll also have the SEC championship game on after the Big 12 championship game between number 3 Georgia and number 9 Alabama. But what happens if Duke beats Virginia? That's a possibility that the ACC could be left out of the college football playoff.
There's a scenario out there where that happens, and it feels like they would be deserving.
So it kind of makes you want to root for Duke, doesn't it?
I guess a little bit, just for the chaos to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't have any love for either school or hate for either school, but I appreciate Virginia giving us Jacob Rodriguez. But yeah, I don't. If it would help, and I think it possibly could, BYU get in, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, because I think don't you feel like at this point the only scenario for BYU to get in is they have to beat Texas Tech on Saturday?
Most likely, yes.
With Notre Dame dropping down to 10, those people aren't happy. They're not happy that Alabama went up and they went down. You got BYU at 11, Miami at 12, Texas at 13. Could you make a case that a 3-loss Alabama team doesn't deserve to be in the college football playoff and should be left out, and that Miami should get in as opposed to Alabama?
You're saying if they lose this weekend?
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to be penalized for losing conference championship games.
But they'd have 3 losses.
But again, there are other teams with 2 that don't have to play in a conference championship game. So you're rewarding them for not playing in it?
What if they get blown out? What if Alabama gets blown out?
That'd be a bad look. I think it's a great theory and all, but if that were the case and Georgia beat them, 45-17, then I don't know. I would look at it and go, that doesn't feel like one of the best 12 teams.
Yeah. Does it feel like right now that Miami's on the outside looking in, along with BYU, or do you feel like that Miami's going to get in before it's all said and done?
I feel like Miami has a better chance than BYU.
Yeah.
Just because BYU is most likely to take a loss.
Yeah. What about, and this will be interesting to see, like North Texas and Tulane play on Friday, and Troy and James Madison play on Friday. Do you think the team that has the more convincing win, whether it's James Madison or North Texas, is the one that gets that non-power 5-4 conference bid? You think you're playing for style points there?
Well, Tulane's got a big head start, right? Not all those schools.
Yeah, but Tulane, I think, is going to get beat.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think North Texas is going to beat them.
Are you rooting for that? Are you rooting for North Texas to get in?
I like Eric Morris.
I like Eric Morris too. I don't want North Texas in the playoff with us.
Okay, I'm kind of with you on that, because that would just bring back all kinds of.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about losing to them. I just I'd prefer the Longhorns not be there. We finally get
show?
there.
Yeah,
I'd prefer the Aggies not be there.
Yeah.
We're touting, hey, we made the college football playoff, and North Texas like, yeah, so do we.
So do we.
It's North Texas.
Yeah, you're ranked 24th.
They're ranked 24th. We're not ranked 24th.
I said they're ranked 24th.
Oh, it sounded like we're.
Oh, no, they're ranked 24th. Yeah, James Madison. I'd rather have the former president get in.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Morning, 7:15 this morning here on the Morning Drive with Jamie Lent and Brendan Riker. I'm Chuck Heinz. Jamie's question of the day comes up at 7:30 this morning on Double T 97.3. I did find it interesting that Kalani Sitake got a new deal the same day as Joey McGuire got a new deal, primarily because they got to know each other because they have the same agent or same representation. And, I mean, obviously being in the Big 12 together kind of helps that with things along those lines. But that's kind of how they first met, was because they have just happen to have the same agent. And they had dinners together and things like that. So anyway, that guy got a 2-for-1 yesterday.
Okay.
I mean, the commission was pretty
good deal for him.
Yeah, good day for him, right? You would think. So, got both of his guys signed, sealed, and delivered, and Kalani Sitake doesn't have to make do on his idle threat to go to Penn State. I wonder how serious that was.
Yeah, it sounds like it was. He was using it as leverage to help with get a little more money for his staff.
Or himself, too.
And himself, too, probably, yeah.
I mean, and who knows, maybe some commitment, too, in terms of what it was going to be, what kind of pool he was going to have for his players and stuff like that to be able to pay moving forward, and what kind of commitment the university was willing to make to the football program on top of what they already do. Anything surprise you in the college football rankings when they came out that you go, oh, I didn't see that coming?
I was surprised that A&M slid that far.
Yeah. How do you think they got?
Yeah, a little surprised Texas wasn't in the fours receiving buys. That was sarcasm. That was a joke.
Okay, got.
We start talking about that scenario of an ACC team not getting in. You watch. See who it benefits. Don't be shocked if it's the Texas Longhorns.
Man. So what you're saying to me is we need to be rooting for we need to be rooting for Virginia to win that ACC championship.
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going a little bit over the top here, but because it feels like Miami and BYU would be the teams that would benefit the most. But yeah, wouldn't that be crazy though if Duke wins the ACC and they're like, not an ACC champion ranked high enough to get the automatic bid. Okay. So we're going to put in another ACC team that didn't make the conference championship game. Isn't that crazy?
Which would be Miami, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
wouldn't that be a little odd?
Yeah, it would be a little odd. And then you've got a BYU team that's going to go, hey, we lost 2 games here, one of which isn't supposed to count because it was a conference championship game, and we lost to the same team twice, and they're a top 4 team, and we're not in. And then the Notre Dame people, they're just going to complain because they're Notre Dame. Like, well, we're Notre Dame. We didn't get a big enough ranking here. So I don't know. I think, and I still think before it's all said and done, like if let's just say Tech wins by the same margin that they did here at home over BYU. So let's say it's a 20-point win, okay? And you hold them to less than 20 points like what you've been doing, and you do what you're supposed to do in the red zone, and you win the ball game going away. Let's just say it's 35-18, something along those lines, okay?
Okay.
And let's say Georgia has a close win over Alabama and Indiana gets beat by 15. I could make a case for Texas Tech going up to number 2, Jamie.
It's possible. It's possible.
You know, I could make that case. So right now, you would potentially play the winner of Oregon and whomever they're going to face. For some reason, I have an uneasy feeling about Oregon.
Uneasy feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's clearly they're a talented team. I don't know that as dominant as maybe we've seen some Oregon teams before. You know, they had the win against Penn State at the beginning of the season that we thought was a great one on the road and a tough game and all that, but then Penn State just completely fell apart and turned that win into nothing. They finally got a top 25 win late in the season against a USC team that's ranked 16th now. But I don't know. I think I fear Ole Miss or A&M more than I do Oregon.
Okay. Right now, the CBS Bowl projection has A&M playing North Texas in the first round. That would be at Kyle Field. It has Oregon, the 6th seed, playing the 11th seed Virginia. Ole Miss and Alabama. Oh, that'd be a delicious matchup, wouldn't it? That'd be fun. And then Oklahoma and Notre Dame.
All those are fun, except for A&M versus North Texas.
Right, and then
unless North Texas won.
and in that scenario, if A&M rises up to number 5, because this is what they're projecting. Okay, so right now A&M is number 7. In that scenario, you would face A&M in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I wonder what scenario they have, why they have A&M jumping 2 spots this week, and they're not playing.
And this was updated November the 29th. Okay, so that's just a projection. So let's see if my ESPN projection is a little bit different there. But I mean, there's going to be. I think what we have right now is probably not going to be what we finish up with, right?
I wouldn't say it's going to be exactly like it. I think. Okay, so I think the first 10 are all going to make it in. Okay, the top 10 are all going to make it in.
Okay.
I assume that Virginia is going to win and make it in.
Okay.
And I assume that Tulane or North Texas are going to make it in. All right?
Okay, so we're going to root for the Green Wave.
So that would ultimately have BYU and Miami being pushed out as 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing with what you said. Obviously, I said it last segment. It's hard for me to say because I like Eric Morrison. I want Red Raiders to do well. It's hard to say that I'm rooting against North Texas. I'm just saying I don't want them in the playoff with us. Again, and it's not because I fear them.
Yeah. Just don't want to share the spotlight with them.
Yeah, I mean, SMU was in last year. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I'm being a selfish Texas Tech fan.
No, feel free to be selfish.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are thinking that I hate that he's going to Oklahoma State. I really do, just because I want to root for him and because he's one of us and all that good stuff. And I don't want to root for Oklahoma State.
He's got a long ways to go before they're going to be successful there, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? They have to turn it around with their NIL funds if they're going to turn it around on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yeah. What will be interesting to me is, let's just say Texas Tech goes up to number 2 or number 3. Would they still put Tech in the Cotton Bowl, or would they say, okay, well, because we had the sugar was where the number 2 team was going to go, or will they stay kind of what they've talked about, where teams have been connected historically?
Yeah, I don't think that'll change.
You don't think that'll change? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Next, Jamie's question of the day.
Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, very simple question for you about the college football playoffs and the rankings that we saw last night.
Okay.
Of the top 15 teams, and that's I'm basically saying teams that have a shot here. Top 15 teams, who do you think is the most overranked?
Ooh.
Too highly ranked.
Ooh. Well, the top 15. Who's... The low-hanging fruit for me is Texas. They're ranked 13th at 9-3, ahead of Utah and ahead of Vanderbilt. Both those teams are 10-2. Miami is 10-2. I'm going to say Texas at 9-3. That's the easy answer. It's low hanging fruit. You call me an angry Texas hater, whatever. Brendan?
It's a tie for me between Oregon and Notre Dame. I mean, I'm not very impressed with their body of work on the season. Maybe more so Oregon. I mean, Notre Dame's probably fine where they are at 10, given their record, but I'm not impressed with Oregon's strength of record. I think maybe Ole Miss has a better resume than Oregon, and even I don't know. I'm not very impressed with Oregon, at least with their schedule. I still think, I mean, they are a good team, but I just think they're a little overranked in these rankings.
At 5.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's some pretty smart thinking, Jamie, because they had the double overtime win over Penn State. What if they lose that game? What if Penn State wins? Does Penn State's year completely different?
Man, it may be. Yeah.
Does James Franklin, okay, hey, guys, we cobbled it together, we figured it out, and they don't go on their losing streak.
Yeah.
And they just they do have a win over Rutgers. Whoop-de-doo. They beat Wisconsin, barely beat Iowa.
Iowa's a top 20 team, though.
I know. They were number 20. It was at their place.
That's certainly their best win, and that's on the road. That's a tough environment, but that's really it. I don't want to give them credit for beating USC because I don't think USC is that good of a team.
You're making a lot of sense. Brendan.
Okay, well, let me add to you this. Okay, I'm going to list a school. Here's their wins. Stanford, Syracuse, Pitt, Navy, Boston College, USC, that we all don't think is that good, NC State, Boise State, Arkansas, Purdue. Those are their wins. What's quality there? The USC team that we all think is way too highly ranked. Okay? That's Notre Dame. Those are Notre Dame's wins. Okay? They played 2 good teams and lost to 2 good teams. Close games, but they lost to both of them. Notre Dame being like, there's no question they're in, and I don't understand why. Everybody, I would guess, we could go through the list, but everybody's got a better win than Notre Dame has. Now, their losses aren't terrible. Okay? Close games to ranked teams. I get it. That's fair. But where's the big win? Their schedule was Cupcake City. And we wouldn't be talking about the USC win as being a quality one if they ranked USC where they need to be.
And it's funny.
We're talking about Oregon and Notre Dame both going. Their best win is USC. USC's not good.
And it's funny.
They're just USC, so we overrank them every year.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we mentioned Notre Dame because Texas A&M's best win is probably against Notre Dame.
100%.
And then you look at who Notre Dame has played. So in context, it's like, is A&M really that impressive? Probably not.
Yeah, Notre Dame starts off losing to number 10 Miami 27-24, and then number 16 A&M 41-40, and then follow that up with all the wins.
A&M's got 2 wins to Arkansas and to South Carolina that were against bad football teams that they barely won. And that's where you look at the Red Raiders' resume and you look at the 11-1 and you see that you're the 6th team in the history of college football to win 11 games by 20 points or more. I mean, you pounded teams. A&M's got to 11-1 and they barely got by a couple of bad teams.
I mean, they barely beat Auburn 16-10. They barely won at Arkansas 45-42. They beat South Carolina. I mean, got to give them credit. They were down 30-0, and they won at 31-30.
I think it was like 30-3. Was it 30-0 at one point?
I think it was 30-0. Well, still, they were down.
Yeah.
Big. They shut out Samford, 48-0. That's sarcasm. And then beat Texas, or lost to Texas 27-17. It's like when they had a chance to really kind of right the ship and kind of make a statement, they didn't do it.
Yeah. I agree with the Texans that Longhorns had a much tougher schedule than Notre Dame. If I was a voter, I'd put the Longhorns in over Notre Dame.
Okay.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Texter. And you know I don't like the Longhorns.
Somebody wanted to know what Tech's big wins were. Well, I mean...
Well, you got 2 wins against, what, top 14 teams?
Yeah, Utah and BYU, yeah.
And Houston's in the mix there as well.
Brennan with a little chippiness this morning, Jamie. On the chat line, he responded, somebody said, where's Texas Tech's big win? LOL. And Brennan's like, Utah, comma, Houston, comma, BYU, period. All currently in all caps, in the CFP, top 25. Next question.
Yeah.
Man.
I prefer to go with good try.
Yes. Yeah.
That Jamie likes that. Good try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good try.
Good try.
The good wins are right there. Look at the schedule. Look at who's in the rankings right now. That's 3 quality wins for Texas Tech. And on top of that, you beat all 3 of those teams pretty handedly.
Yeah.
By more than 20.
Shane says this. You realize that UT beat Vanderbilt head-to-head, right? I think 13 is fair for TU. Okay.
I don't think they're overly ranked. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm almost to the point where I feel like the Longhorns should be in, but I don't know. I'm right there on the edge. I think they should be in over Notre Dame. I definitely do.
Okay. All right.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.